Hello guys, Bud here with Dependable Lawn Care, and today I'm going to be unboxing and assembling and installing the MTC 100, which is the multi-tool cage by Green Touch. You can find that at trailerracks.com, and I purchased a few of these that I'm going to be using for my hedge trimmer, my handheld blower, and my chainsaws. Looks like no assembly required. I will say these things are heavy. I mean, they're built heavy, but weight-wise, they are heavy. It's a pretty beefy little box. Here are the installation instructions for open and enclosed trailers. So it's pretty basic, but I mean, honestly, you know, there's not a lot to it. So I cut that zip tie that has the fasteners and the keys. Okay. So that's just the mounting hardware, some self-tapping screws, and then bolts if you were using this on an open trailer. Okay, so that's a rubber pad, nice and thick, with adhesive strips on it. Looks like that goes in the bottom. This is one of the pins that came out. So this is the back side with the mounting holes. It's pretty slick. Not too bad at all. And let me show you the top. It's got a nice little multi-cage decal on there. The trailer racks. .com, phone number, etc. So anyway, that's a pretty heavy-duty setup, guys. And to be perfectly honest, what I was planning on doing was mounting this on the wall stud, but now that I have it, I'm gonna have to do better than that. I'm gonna have to have some 1x4 runners to mount it to, because it's too beefy to just mount it with a couple screws in the middle. Set my hedge trimmer in here and you see how it fits. Okay, so that fits pretty good. My hedge trimmer takes up the most room between my chainsaws and my handheld blower and all of that. You know, it takes up the most space. As you can see, it's pretty long, but it's really wide also. The front handle on it is very wide. So if that fits in there, everything else that I have will fit in there as well. And what I did is I added these runners. They're just 1x4s. I added those to mount the multi-tool cage. So I have 2 up there, 2 down here. They're blending in pretty good with the paint, but I think you can see those. And then I wanted to show you this configuration. So what I really wanted on this area for the space I have is to get 2 chainsaws and my hedge trimmer, and possibly have room for one more item if I need it. I'm thinking about either my trimmer string spool. I keep saying sure-can cage. They're not sure-can cages. They're multi-tool cages. Anyway, I came up with this configuration for my chainsaws that I think will work quite well. And that chainsaws, let me show you, they can only go one way. So I'll take both of them out. Okay, so the chainsaw can only go this way. If you try to turn it the other way, the bar is on the wrong side. And this is what I mean. See, they won't fit in because it needs to go this way to fit right. But because the bars are thin, and I have bar covers so they don't tear up each other, I can set the big one in like that in its cage, and then I can set the other one in like that, and that's going to be a huge space saver. Plus it keeps everything out of the way of the end of the trimmer rack. Which, turn the camera here. So right here is the end of my trimmer rack, or where the trimmer heads stick out. So that's going to keep it out of the way for that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with those. I'll get my first one in position and mount it up, and then I can play with the spacing a little bit on the other one, but I think that's going to work really well. So I'm going to have 3 of the multi-tool cages on this wall, or in this area, and then I have another one that's going to go over here behind me for the blower rack, and I'll just show you that when I'm done. But this is just to show you the procedure for mounting it up. Okay. What I'm going to be using, the packets that come with it, I'm going to be using the self-tapping screws that are in there. Even though I'm not going into a stud or anything, those will work great going into this wood. Gosh dang. Okay, that was kind of a pain. I ended up setting this in the cage so that when I got it up in position, I'd have it close. Alright, so that came out pretty good. Let me get it squared up here. Okay, that's the top 2. Okay. Now that that's installed, I got a clean rag. I'm going to wipe all the dust and that stinking styrofoam. I'm going to wipe that out and then place the rubber pad. You're supposed to put the rubber pad in after you install it. So now that it's installed, I can put this in. So what I'm going to do is peel that adhesive, the red strips off the back. That's just covering up the adhesive, and then lay the pad down in there. Okay. Alright guys, so what I did is I actually laid that against the back. It's got a little bit of a gap. The pad, the rubber pad, is about an inch smaller than the inside of the cage. This way, front to back, it's about an inch short. So I just put it all the way to the back, and that way if anything leaks out of the chainsaw, which it will, you're going to have bar oil anytime you have a chainsaw sitting. So I'm going to lay some oil rags in there to catch that. But also there's a gap in the front, so that if any of it collects, it'll be right there in the front where I can clean it up easily. So just a little idea there for you. And then these are just some shop cloths. I'm going to lay them in there before I even put the chainsaw in. Like I said, that's to catch the bar oil, because I know that's gonna happen. It's a given. Those are just at the right height where reaching over it and trying to put a screw in is really a pain. But as you can see, I can't go much higher. Another inch or two and I'd be touching the frame up there. Plus you don't want to be lifting tools up over your head all the time anyway. So I'm going to set my chainsaws in there now before I put the other two screws in and make sure that everything's going to work. So what is? Okay guys, I have everything in place. So here are the two up on top. And then here is the hedge trimmer down below. There's the floor. Give you some perspective on it. And then I'll open up all the lids so you can see how that works. So you can see why I spaced them the way I did, so that they have room for the lids to open, but I'm still maintaining my floor space. I have, in fact, let me measure that real quick. I don't know how much I have under there. I think I have plenty, but yeah. So 26 inches, that's plenty for the mowers, even though that's the side of the trailer that we walk on, to get back and forth if we need to go around the mowers for anything. So the mowers will be over to my side, and the side that these are on will be the travel side. So they're actually plenty out of the way. But anyway, that's what it looks like, guys. Pretty happy with that. And I've got all that space right there if I want to add a second box down the line or a different type of setup. I've got all that room for it. So here's what I did with the handheld blower, and I'll show you a side profile of it and everything. And also I moved my spool over here, and it's the green touch with the cutoff. Hopefully you can see that. That's just a better spot for it. I wasn't really happy with where it was mounted. It wasn't very solid, so now it's mounted into that 1x4 and it's nice and solid. The handheld blower, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to lock it into that multi-tool cage, and so I just wanted to show you that you can do it. It's just a tight fit, and I'll show you what I mean. So right now it's locked, so I'm going to open it. Open this. This actually works out pretty good because during the day we don't use the backpack blower hardly at all, and so what I'm going to do, hard to do with one hand, but I'm just going to leave that lid open with the backpack strap, or the waist strap actually, kind of holding the lid up out of the way, and then that way the blower can sit upright. So it sits in there fine, it fits fine, you can take it in and out with no problem. That's holding the camera and doing it with one hand even, so that takes talent, let me tell you. But you know, everything fits good. It's got lots of clearance. I think I measured 30 inches or 32 inches maybe underneath it. You know, it doesn't take up, oh, I think those are 12 inches wide plus the locking mechanism, but it doesn't stick out any farther than the blower rack. So anyway, it all fits good. The only thing, like I said, is to lock it. If you're actually going to lock this up because you're going to be away from your trailer or whatever the situation, you lay it down, go kind of catty corner, I guess, like that, and then, see, did I do that right? Yeah, okay. And then that allows it to lay down just far enough to latch it. I mean, it's tight, but you can lay it in there, and you can close your, oops, there we go. Hard to do with one hand anyway. And you can close your lock bar in place and lock it. So it's tight, but it can be done. For me personally, the handheld blower, and I'm not, I don't want this to come out wrong. I don't want my blower to get stolen, but I'm not as worried about it being a little $200 handheld blower. I'm not as worried about it as much as I am a $600 backpack blower, or a $300 or $400 trimmer, or $300 or $400 chainsaws. I mean, you get my point. This is probably the cheapest tool that I have locked in here. I can lock it up, and it will get locked up from time to time, but what I'm getting at is through the day, the day-to-day operation, this is going to be, well, not like that, but I'm going to tuck it behind that strap again. This is going to be open like this, so we can grab it and go. You know, it's just going to be open and setting in there. And most of the time, I mean, even on my big properties, we don't get out of sight of the trailer. My son knows, and obviously I know, to keep an eye on things. We know what neighborhoods we kind of need to keep an eye out. Thankfully, I've never had anything stolen. But I've had people drive by real slow and kind of eyeball things, and then they see you and they keep moving, and you know, you just know in the back of your head, if they didn't see anybody around, they'd stop and take what they want. And that's the purpose of this, is just organizing things better and making better use of the space. So anyway, that's the handheld blower and the spool rack. So now they're in their final place, and then sorry, I keep clearing my throat, guys. I'm just congested this morning. We got crazy weather change. It's supposed to be, it was 60 something yesterday. It's supposed to be 60 something again today, and this is the time of year when it should be below freezing. It's just crazy. So the weather going up and down is kind of messing with my sinuses, I guess. But and this is what everything turned out, or how everything turned out on the other side, and I really like that. It's clean, it's well organized. I think it's going to make our efficiency and productivity really go up. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate all of you, my subscribers, my followers, likers, etc. Keep doing what you're doing, guys, and get out there and make some money.